Whatever goes around comes around, and justice has been coming around the mountain for John Bolton for quite a while. John Bolton, who never met a CNN or MSNBC camera he didn't love, scurried to the studios of MSNBC to trash President Trump when Mar-a-Lago was raided.
Moment. But I don't think he cared about the classification system. I don't think he appreciated the sensitivity of this information, and he didn't appreciate the sensitivity of how it was often acquired, the so-called sources and methods. This had been briefed to him before I arrived. It was repeated frequently. I think it simply had no impact on him whatever.
Donald Trump's no good at handling classified information, says John Bolton, who nobody elected to anything. Donald Trump was elected president. That means he gets a permanent top classification clearance and also has the power to maintain classified records forever in his National Archives and library. And so what John Bolton's saying there is wrong, but it's also ironic and Shakespearean. It's like amazing how the Trump administration transmits these things. Dan Scavino here posting in 2024. What did John Bolton do with all of his yellow notepads that he always took copious notes on in the cabinet room, Oval Office, Situation Room, traveling abroad? And why would Dan Scavino post this? Well, when John Bolton was the national security advisor to Donald Trump, he apparently took a bunch of notes. And what Dan Scavino must have understood when he posted this, like 18 months ago, was that John Bolton was selling that access, that John Bolton is the one who's actually guilty of sharing classified material and doing it illegally. That's why the feds raided John Bolton's house. That's why we got great memes like this one. It's also why John Bolton was indicted in a left-wing state of Maryland. Ex-Trump National Security Advisor John Bolton indicted on charges of mishandling classified information. Oh, no. But, the indictment, as they say, you can indict a ham sandwich. And so you're going to have to go to trial, and it's going to be pretty messy. And John Bolton's in his 80s. And so, boy, howdy, could he go to jail for 5 years? Would that be the end of his life? Former National Security Advisor John Bolton indicted, and President Trump saying,
case against him?
That's the way it goes, right? That's the way it goes. Will I what?
Have you reviewed the case against him?
No, I haven't. But I just think he's a bad person.
He says that John Bolton's a bad person, and John Bolton just admitted to being a bad person in court. It's amazing how that works. John Bolton confesses, stone-faced Bolton confesses in court that he stole government secrets in stunning reversal, and now he begs for forgiveness. Oh, wow. Boy, something happened from here. Isn't this the same John Bolton that was on MSNBC talking about how important it is to handle classified information correctly? And now here he is. Under the terms of the deal, Bolton would serve 60 months or 5 years in prison in exchange for a guilty plea. Oh, man. So John Bolton is trying to get out of jail. He is also required to pay a fine of up to $2.25 million and serve 100 hours of community service. John Bolton may spend the rest of his life in prison. He pleaded guilty on Friday to a single charge of retaining classified information, significant update in the criminal case, to help him avoid a lengthy jail time. Prosecutors said on Friday that Bolton's abuse of his position, trust, White House National Security Advisor, sharing 1,000 pages of classified information in the form of diaries with his wife and daughter so that they could write a book for him. Bolton then retained the documents related to the national defense in his home. Who knows who else he shared them with? And also agreed that the version of events Bolton asked to have a moment with his counsel before responding, yes, the summary is accurate. So this is exactly what Bolton was doing. Bolton was squirreling away government secrets for personal profit. He sold books based on this. John Bolton, right now, pleading guilty to retaining classified information. He could serve many years
of
in prison.
Retaining classified information. The former National Security Advisor admits he retained classified information within a diary entry. He faces up to 5 years in prison and a fine of over $2 million.
So what they do typically in these plead cases is they have all these charges stacked against you. They stack charges. They say, here, you're guilty of like these 50,000 things. If you plead guilty to these 3 things, then we'll just consider this a wash, right? Nobody has to go to trial. We can move on to other things. That's how these plead. This doesn't mean that John Bolton only stole classified information one time. It means actually the opposite. It means that they made an agreement that he's going to plead guilty to doing the thing they accused him of doing, and they're not going to go forward with the trial for the 50,000 other things that they have on him. This is how they get plea agreements in the federal courthouse. So U.S. Attorney Kelly Hayes says Bolton pled guilty in federal court to the unlawful retention of national defense information. Mr. Bolton faces a maximum sentence of up to 5 years in prison. He'll pay a fine of $2 million and will forfeit his pension for working in the federal government. Whoa. Those pensions can be rich, man. Man. Okay. So he pleads guilty to violating the Espionage Act, sent top secret information on a personal account allegedly hacked by the Iranians. Goodness, John Bolton held a position of extraordinary public trust.
A number of positions of extraordinary public trust in the United States government, culminating in being the National Security Advisor to the President of the United States. John Bolton betrayed that trust in extraordinary fashion by unlawfully retaining and unlawfully disclosing the information with which he was entrusted. Now, Kelly provided a very good summary of that today for those of you that weren't in the change of plea, and the United States will have more to say about that at sentencing. But today's plea should be a warning to anyone at any level of government that if you leak America's secrets or if you mishandle them, the United States Department of Justice, National Security Division, and our U.S. attorney partners will be there to prosecute you.
Please go after Hillary Clinton now. Is it still too late? John Bolton pleads guilty. Fake news was wrong again. We are shocked. We will always pursue justice. Just a reminder that John Bolton constantly was on TV. John Bolton, mishandling classified information. There's no show this guy didn't book himself on to talk about, look at this. This is a serious crime, devastating indictment, end of Trump's career. This is what he said about mishandling classified information.
It should be the end of Donald Trump's political career. And he has committed very serious crimes. This is a devastating indictment. I speak here as an alumnus of the Justice Department myself, because not only is it powerful, it's very narrowly tailored. They didn't throw everything up against the wall to see what would stick. This really is a rifle shot, and I think it should be the
end of Trump's career. Well, now it turns out to be the end of John Bolton's career. Just remember, read your scriptures, man. Read the Bible. It says the weapon that you form will be used against you. All things that are done in secret will come to the light. And John Bolton, ladies and gentlemen, getting plenty of spotlight this